In this video, I am going to teach you how to fussy cut. The measurements that we need today to fussy cut this panel is going to be 2 at 5.5 inch by 11.5 inches. And then we are going to need 2 5.5 inch squares. What I did was I took my ruler. This is the Creative Grid Ruler CG6 and it's absolutely brilliant because it has our 11.5 inch, but also our 5.5 inch, since we are going to need 2 of those. So again, here is our 11.5 inch, here is our 5.5 inch, so we could bring this up like this, maybe bring it over a little bit so we still have this cool branch, but we also have a bit more of our haunted house. So again, here is our 5 inch, here is our 11.5 inch. Now also we have this really fun ghost here. So here's our 11.5 inch, here is our 5.5 inch. Literally the sky's the limit. I'm going to show you what I did for the 5.5 inch by 11.5 inch, but in that meantime, let's go ahead and have fun with our 5.5 inch square, because again, we need 2 5.5 inch squares. Now the next ruler that I'm using is the CG6. Again, this is from Rachel Cross Creative Grids Ruler. The nice thing about the Creative Grids Ruler is that you can actually see through them and you're not distorting the colors on the fabric. I really love using the clear white plastic. So we're going to go ahead and flip this ruler around so that we get that 5.5 inch. So here's another really great idea. Now we want to keep in mind our 1/4 inch. Look at my hand. I had a pen explode on me. Anyways, I washed my hands as best as I could. It's not going to get on the fabric. But anyways, so we want to keep in mind our 1/4 inch. So wherever we move this around, we really want to make sure that, because like when we sew, we typically sew with that 1/4 inch so that it's going to hit that little point right there. And we can even move this over because again, here is our 5.5 inch. So the basic of fussy cutting is you get to choose how you want to cut out your fabric. Here is the crow idea, 5.5 inch, 5.5 inch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our rotary cutter. This is the Olaf, and we are just going to cut. Now, you can even turn it around like this if you are feeling comfortable and you have a nice steady arm, or go ahead and pick up your fabric, spin it around to complete it. But again, we are going to cut on all 4 sides to get your fussy cut. Let me show you what I used for my fussy cut blocks. And again, we have this really fun pumpkin as well. And then of course the ghost. 4 different blocks to fussy cut out using the pattern. Okay, so this is how I chose to fussy cut out my blocks. These are my 5.5 inch by 11.5 inch. So I've got the haunted house, then I went with the crow and the bottom of the haunted house, and then I couldn't figure out which 2 5.5 inch squares I wanted. I knew that I wanted this really fun silly kitty with the bat. And then I keep going back and forth. So I'm going to cut these down to 5.5 inches. In fact, I'm going to flip this around. So when I cut it out, it just needs to be cut one more time. It's going to go like this. So I'm going to cut off this part here. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut off this black as well. And again, I'm not quite sure which 2 5.5 inch squares I want. So I just chose to cut out both of them. So that is how you officially fussy cut out blocks.